I had a great deal. The guy was going to end up taking the house. He was going to add a second story. So there's a $500,000 budget on a house, really nice house, North Dallas. Bread and butter, right? But here's where, and this is where communication is going to be so key, Pedro, so key, because that's where these people don't. And this is the pivot, but this is also where I shut it down. So,
Yeah.
this is that level of, this is that Marine, like, okay, I'm going to try to adjust here for you, and then we're going to probably kill it. And that is exactly what happened. So I was given the deal, I was given the pitch.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I am your host, Pedro Pereira, and today I'm joined by someone we've been looking very forward to chatting with, Kevin Parker, who's been making some serious moves in the real estate lending and investing stage. How are we doing today, Kevin?
Pedro, I'm doing great. How are you doing, sir? Thank you
Doing
guys
very
enough for
well.
having me on.
Oh, of course, my friend. We're glad to have you here. Really appreciate your time. I think our listeners are really going to be able to take away a lot of good nuggets of knowledge here from how you guys are approaching the investor and lending space. You guys have a very unique mentality towards this, and I think our listeners are really going to enjoy learning and hearing about it. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. So, first off, for the people who may not be familiar with your world, give us a short version. What are your main focuses these days? What markets are you operating in?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, so actually we're a national company. We lend nationwide. I'm in 46 states right now, with obviously the mindset of we're always going to be running to every challenge. And I say that because, like I mentioned to you earlier, we are founded by two Marines. That's the forefront of our company, right? John Thompson and John Warren were the master sergeants of the company, and they founded it because Lima One Company actually was the name of their company when they were overseas fighting. So they obviously took that mentality into everything they did. But right now we focus on fix and flip, new construction, and then we've got a marvelous rental 30-year fixed product that transitions well from a fix and flip product if that's the Burr method strategy that our investors are going with. We do see a lot of that these days. New construction, I've seen a boom. I think the United States has seen a boom in the real estate world as far as new construction is concerned. I think realistically with our mortgage rates, there's still some give and take there, but our investors, we're all Marines in our investment mentality. So at the end of the day, we're going to find a way to overcome that challenge, regardless if we just have to wait a little bit for those mortgage rates to come down to make it perfect. Or what most of my customers do is they just say, you know what, it's going to be fine. I'm going to build anyway. and the market's going to take care of itself.
Perfect. I love to hear it. What really caught my attention was about how you mentioned that you guys have this marine mentality. Could you go a little bit further into that? I'd love to hear about that unique perspective into this business stage.
Well, so the foundation is the most important part of any company, right? I think we could all agree on that. And when I talk about foundation, I mean, what are the morals, the principles, and the character development that creates that foundation? So when the United States, when all of us citizens, when we think of the word Marine, we think of naturally badass. I mean, that's the first thought that pops into my head, right? But it's more than that, because what does it take to be a Marine? It takes resilience, persistence, the ability to pursue something regardless of the obstacle, dedication, relentlessly dedicated. So we're going to be loyal to a fault. We're also going to be dedicated to you and to the overall process and procedure to make sure that the level that you receive of quality, of care, of everything from start to finish is at its highest level. And we're always growing too. We're always trying to, level up our game, so to speak. It's just like any other company. When it comes down to it, we're going to do our best to meet and exceed expectations at every level, every chance we get.
That's great. That's great to hear. And honestly, that's not easy to do, especially in this climate with the volatility of the market and everything going up and down. To keep that discipline, to keep that loyalty is definitely a differentiator here in the field. And could you enlighten us a little bit? How has that sort of played into the relationship that you guys have with your clients?
Yeah, well, I think that traditionally speaking, when you think of hard money or private money in the lending world, a lot of the times, and it sounds corny to say, but a lot of the lenders miss out on that relationship piece. And when I say that, they'll look at a loan, and I've worked with several small shops before I came onto this one. Lima one's by far the best. And when I say that, I mean, a lot of the times they're going to look at a deal and they're going to say, oh, it's a little if, we've got some risk here, we've got these things going on. But, we still want to get the deal done as a company overall. So we'll bypass certain things that you as an investor are going to be detrimented by if I look over. Lima One Company is actually owned by a publicly traded REIT called MFA Financial, and we trade on the New York Stock Exchange. So what I mean by that is obviously we have a degree of commitment and a degree of investment that we have with our current investors that we also have to uphold. So what that does is everything trickles down, right? So if our standards of commitment are that high at a level where we're having to nationally be committed, dedicated, and show.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Excellence, a degree of excellence that not many people can, that obviously gets transmitted to our investors. So when I look at your deal, I'm not just looking, at, okay, it's a fix and flip. I want to see, well, yeah, but you've got $20,000 here on a budget that, it's a 3,000 square foot house. Can you explain to me how there's going to be profit? Because I also want to see professionally and from someone that actually cares about your real estate investing, journey and where you're going to go through from here, what that's going to look like. And if I look at look at the deal and I say there's no profitability here based on your exit strategy and your current plan of action, I'm going to recommend a different one. And that's just something I don't see many lenders do. They're, all on the phones, they'll get the deal, they'll run through the numbers. Okay, here's your quote. I mean, I could do that too, but our level is just a little bit higher. I want people that are, like I told you earlier, like I'm a rock star. I want to deal with people that are that are already rock stars, because at the end of the day, that's the level that we want to stay at, and that's the level that we want to help everybody continue to grow to. And you want somebody in your corner that's going to sit here and say, "This looks like you're making $15,000 on a $400,000 investment. This is a bad deal. You should walk away." And that's a partner, not just someone sitting there sending you quotes to get you, to borrow your money. Yeah. That's the difference. That's the extreme difference.
Yeah, I could see that. Commitment on every level, from the national one to the individual client. That is special for sure. Going into, some of the nitty and gritty now. Every operator has had a moment where things really got real. Maybe a deal went sideways, or the moment where you guys had to pivot fast. Do you mind sharing one of those moments with us?
Oh, you're gonna like this one. Yeah, in fact, I've got a great one. It just happened the other day. Now, first I'm gonna explain how we pivoted. Then I'm gonna explain how our process underlined certain things that would have been seen as as detrimental to us or, potentially to anyone in the future.
Mhm.
So I had a great deal. The guy was going to end up taking the house. He was going to add a second story. So there's a $500,000 budget on a house, really nice house, North Dallas. Bread and butter, right? But here's where, and this is where communication is going to be so key, Pedro, so key, because that's where these people don't. And this is the pivot, but this is also where I shut it down. So,
Yeah.
this is that level of, this is that Marine, like, okay, I'm going to try to adjust here for you, and then we're going to probably kill it. And that is
Yep.
exactly what happened. So I was given the deal. I was given the pitch. I was presented information that said I had done XYZ amount of deals over the last 3 years. That turned out to be false. But the deeper underlying issue came from this. So first of all, okay, we only had this many deals. Great. Okay, but I have a GC that's willing to partner on the deal. Okay, cool. We can overcome that. No big deal, right? Then you dig in a little deeper. Well, the investor actually doesn't have any experience to speak of. Well, it was under this and it was under this. So, and that's where communication and being honest, integrity matters. But we adjusted. We were going to get it done regardless. I was like, okay, cool. We'll bring somebody in. We can help that. That'll cover the experience piece. You already have the credit. You've already got the down payment. Not a big deal. So pivot, right? Then I get a phone call from the GC. And as we're on the phone, he starts talking about how he's working at an estate sale right now. So now I'm going, wait a minute. What's the address of this estate sale? He's like, well, I'm selling my house. And I just went, and there's no way. Surely not. But sure enough, what house was he selling?
Yeah.
The very house that I was trying to do the loan on. So now I find out that the GC is the seller and a whole different level of, I got different stories now that just because now they're panicking that I figured it out. And of course, like any good leader, when things don't add up, I shut it down. We said, no, we're out on that. There's too many, but that's also the level of commitment we have. We're not just going to let any deal go through. We're going to be, maybe even a little more supervised of the qualities of that deal. And what I mean by that is we're going to look into the specifics, particularly if you tell me that you're the GC and you're selling a house that you're trying to GC the project to. Okay, kick back. That's all my head says, right?
Yeah.
So we pivoted. We were going to get it done. I did everything I could until I got the factual statements that, aligned with the misalignment of our company.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
If it doesn't align with the interest and the overall values and core system of my company, we're going to end up shutting it down. So that's the one thing I would say. I want to work with people that are honest, that have integrity, and that exemplify that leadership mentality in their business. That's the rock stars of the world, and that's who we aim to be. At the end of the day, that's what we want to be. But yeah, so we adapted, we got it almost done, and then I had to kill it. So funny enough, we did pivot, and then I shut it down.
Wow. Well, that's the kind of stuff that honestly people don't talk about enough. Thank you for sharing that. Honestly, that's what I believe that separates folks who just sort of dabble in the industry versus one who's stay in the game long term. But it's important to keep that loyalty, but also not to be, as you said, Marines are loyal to a fault, but you guys are smart enough to realize when that fault is coming and to pull out when you need. That is a special skill.
Discernment, sir.
Yeah.
That's the word of the. And
Discernment.
I go over and I use it's funny. I've started adapting all of these mentalities towards even the raising of my son, and I go by like these key terms like this. Last weekend was discipline and discernment. I made him watch the Three Musketeers, all for one and one for all.
Yeah.
I want this mentality ingrained, and I see so much of it today that you just got to kind of get it when it's young.
Fantastic. No, honestly, it's some great themes and concepts to honestly carry throughout anyone's point in life. It doesn't have to be just in business, which is why I love the way that you guys approach this. So let me ask, what are you guys focused on solving or scaling next? What are the next real goals for you guys?
I don't think we have enough of the market share. I think that right now we're focused mainly on exposure. Realistically, not enough people know about us. If I'd asked you who Lima One was before the phone call, did you have any background knowledge on the company?
Just the one I had to do for the podcast.
See, and the funny thing about that is we are one of the best. I mean, and if
Mm-hmm.
you look at it and comparatively, and you go down the rates and you look at it from just a overview, we really do strike as one of the best lending companies for our investors and for investors as a whole. But we're working right now, I would say, on that marketing exposure piece because not enough people know that we're here. And so, as far as that's concerned, that's why you'll see my pretty face. I'm actually speaking at a conference in Dallas here next month on new construction and on the new construction process. I've got several friends, hopefully, that'll be attending as well. And we just want to make sure that our presence is known because we know that we are one of the best. We exemplify that. And like a Marine, I'm going to run at that challenge head on and just say, well, we're going to do what we can to get there. And we'll put the rest together as it happens. So that's kind of what I'd say the only real challenge we're having right now. It's not capital. We've got capital for days. I think we do hundreds of millions of dollars a month right now. I don't want to give you specific numbers because, it always changes. We always say, well, it's going to be this and it changes. But what I would say is, we are a very successful company. We are just aiming to carry that level that we have created of excellence and commitment and dedication and take it to the next level while not compromising any of those key aspects, character, or overall company morality that we really wish to exemplify, not just now, but in the future and with each investor that we work with. So I could always use more investors to work with. If you know some rock stars, send them my way. Rate and terms not a problem. I can promise that, Pedro. It's going to come down to more what's their experience. Does their overall business plan align with ours? And as long as it does, I can tell you that they're not going to be disappointed.
Awesome. No, that's big, especially when you've already got this unique mentality and approach to the business. The next move can either compound things or create chaos depending how you play it. So I hope that you guys end up doing both.
Organized chaos.
Organized chaos.
I like to say I live my life. I live my life in an organized chaos. So as far as the ability to adapt, look, our CEO is next level. He understands the market. He's always constantly bringing innovations. When I tell you that we're at the forefront of the tech scene, there's not many technologies you could name as far as like my marketing abilities, my abilities to reach out to people, my abilities to connect, and just the overall, resources for the company even that it's unmatched. I mean, we live in a high-tech world, so we all have to adapt. We all have to grow. And at the end of the day, I'd like to think that, honestly, from what I've seen, we're one of the most techy companies I've ever seen. We're always adapting. I mean, we're going to have a great online customer portal for everybody to use so that they can monitor everything from start to finish on each of their loans. I'm not sitting here on an Excel sheet trying to get you a quote on your deal. I can get a deal to you in a couple minutes based on the information you provide that is nice quality, that is going to be supported as long as our appraisal checks out. So I'd say, technology is also a big concept of that. And I think that as it's advancing and we're advancing, hey, look, every Marine has to be able to adapt. I think the ability to adapt and adjust to market share, to markets, and to new environments is something that we obviously are going to try our best to exemplify as well.
Incredible. That's great to hear. Now, I know a lot of people listening here are either very early in their real estate investment journey or just, looking to level up. And I think they'd really benefit from, getting this information or hearing this from you. But when it comes to building relationships and growing your network, you said, always could invite some more investors, always could have more people to work with. What has made the biggest difference for you in the real estate journey and market, building these relationships?
It's a lot of communication, but I think there's a difference between sales and building a true book of business and having a relationship with your clients. What I mean by that is if you're sitting there and you're calling 300 people a day, and you're getting this person on the phone and you're trying to have a communication with them, a lot of times what I like to do, and this is something that sets us apart too, and we recommend this, is when you're an investor, you're starting out, hey, you're in Dallas, I'm right down the road. How about we go grab a coffee? Tell me about your business. Tell me about what successes you've had, what failures you've had. Is there anything you learned from it? Great. I've used these lenders in the past. Awesome. I mean, some of these lenders aren't, I'm not going to ever talk bad about everybody. Like, I'm not one of that guy that's going to go behind your back and say, well, this lender is just bad for this reason. Okay, well, tell me, what are some things you liked? What are some things you didn't like? I mean, because at the end of the day, I won't do first-time investors, but I'm not saying that that should limit you from starting your real estate journey. So if you do, if you found a lender, you did your first couple of deals, great. I mean, I can maybe take it to the next level, but at the same time, you had to start somewhere. And that business, that relationship aspect of it is just being a friend first and foremost. Like, how are your kids? It's what's going on? How's your kids?
Yeah.
You're going on vacation, Pedro. Have a great vacation. It's the little
Thank you.
things, man, that stand apart. And it's simply just understanding and listening more than you speak a lot of the times. Now, except when you're on a podcast and, you just kind of run your mouth a lot. But
That's what we're here for.
you get what I'm saying. I think realistically, at the end of the day, relationship building is built based not just on getting something from somebody, but adding value as much as you can.
Great. That's great. I feel the audience will feel that connection with you as well, which is why I wanted to ask before we wrap, if someone did want to reach out, if they wanted to connect with you, collaborate, or just even learn more about what you're doing, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
The simplest way, this is my direct cell phone number. It's 903-744-3330. You can call me day or night or shoot me a text. That's the easiest way. Now, I've got all sorts of links and things I can send you that are, going to make your life a little easier, but just pick up the phone and call me.
Perfect. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of listeners wanting to feel that connection to learn more about what you guys are doing. But Kevin, I want to say that we appreciate your time, your story, and your perspective on this. This has been very, very enlightening. We definitely need more people in this space that are doing things right. And my friend, I would like to say that congratulations. I believe that you are one of them. You guys are definitely going in the right direction. I think the sky is the limit. For those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure that you are subscribed. More conversations coming up with operators just like Kevin, who are out there building real businesses. Kevin, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Pedro. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.